was lucky enough to grow up on this property, which was previously used as my grandparents' dairy farm. And both Laura and I thought about other careers, but could never seem to leave farming behind.
There's nothing better than feeding people, and we try to keep the food really accessible. We try to get it as much into the local community as possible.
Something that is a struggle sometimes is having all this food and wanting to just, give it out almost, but at the same time being a young business who cannot afford to do that.
It's hard to keep the price point down for organic vegetables. Take the example of a carrot or a cucumber that you find in the grocery store. It's probably been picked somewhere really far away. It's probably attached to a large carbon footprint just getting from the farm, maybe in California, maybe even out of the country.
If you pick an apple or a farmer picks an apple and you get it the next day, it's much more what we call nutrient dense, because once you pick a vegetable or a fruit, it starts to leach nutrients over time. Eating local and eating fresh is great, but it's a little pricey sometimes.
Since the pandemic, we have really increased our work to support getting local food to all of the members of our community.
So there was a really great connection that Berkshire Grown helped establish, getting those farmers with surplus product to get that product directly to food pantries so that they could then go directly to the people most in need.
With how difficult farming is in this community, especially around land access issues, labor issues, and trying to make a living farming, I think it's really difficult for farmers to then think about how to also give back to their community. And I really love that part of the work that Berkshire Grown does is helping farmers to make these contracts, to help them make sure that they're being paid appropriately and that everyone wins.
Berkshire Grown has played a really important and helpful role for us to connect to food pantries where we are trying to distribute food for folks with lower access to it. And without their help in making the connections and also providing funding for our CSA shares and surplus produce to find its way to those centers, we would really struggle to achieve that goal.
Having programs like Share the Bounty where we're paid retail price and then the food still goes to the Berkshire Food Project is wonderful because we are able to stay afloat. We're able to run like a business that we should and have the food going where our goals are.
We have two programs. We have a long-standing program called Share the Bounty, where we buy CSA shares from local farms, and the farmers get those products to food pantries across the county. In addition to our Share the Bounty program, we have a new program. We've called it Farm to Food Access. The point of the program is to get local food to people at food pantries from local farmers in a larger scale.
When the pandemic hit, there was an informal, almost organic coming together of a number of nonprofits to address the issues of food insecurity.
Food insecurity is not knowing where your next meal is going to come from or even having to stress about it. I really have strong feelings about helping people, connecting them with good food is the key word, because everybody deserves to eat and nobody should have to worry about any of that, especially when you're feeding a family.
The meat that comes in these food bags is a really beautiful gift. We really enjoy that it's from local farms, and that's just a luxury that we probably wouldn't enjoy without this opportunity from CHP. How about you, Joshy? What do you like?
Orange peppers. I love that the vegetables are coming from local farms. I think that's really important. I think it's important to support your farmers. I think it breeds a bigger sense of community. It totally means something to me. And it means something to her.
When I come and pick up my bag of food, it is kind of like a social hour for me. We all check in. They've been a huge support when I was going through school, always asking me what I was doing, always watching the kids grow up. So it is a huge part of our lives. Want to take a bite? Like a rabbit?
People will conjure up an image of a food insecure person. People that have no money at all, that don't have jobs. That's not the entire population. There are people who are working, who suffer food insecurity because they simply cannot afford to purchase nutritional food in adequate amounts to support their families.
It's really important to emphasize that the work that we're doing with food access is completely dependent on our collaboration and partnerships with other nonprofits and people in the community.
Berkshire Grown has been the linchpin bringing together and holding together a variety of agencies that serve a similar population. Berkshire Grown has provided the initial financial and organizational support that allowed the pantry to begin to source local milk, meat, produce, and eggs in a way that is now sustainable. Berkshire Grown has, for us, made the impossible possible. Our collaboration has been the silver lining of this extremely difficult time.
Berkshire Grown has been providing us with fresh grown vegetables from local farms. We are serving free lunch Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Our numbers have, I believe, tripled since the pandemic. We have served since January of 2021, 46,661 meals.
There's a level of integrity associated with being able to eat high quality food that was grown by a farmer in your region. And that integrity should not attach only to wealth. That quality should be available to everybody.
Well, I'd like to thank Berkshire Grown for their contributions to our meals and also their contributors because, without us all working together, it'd make a really difficult task even more difficult.
It's really important to support this community, and agriculture is a big part of the economy of the Berkshires. So when you support Berkshire Grown, you're supporting the people who eat the food as well as the people who grow the food.
Berkshire Grown is very important to every organization and every individual who eats in Berkshire County. They make things happen.